Hello everyone, this is Flammy and welcome back. We're here with another subscriber base review where I take your guys' bases and review them. Today we're doing Town Hall 9 bases, so we got some maxed out and perhaps not quite so maxed out bases. So we are here with the first one. If you want to have your base reviewed in the next video, you can listen to the instructions at the end of this video. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get right on started. Right here we have Byzantium, a level 59 Town Hall 9 as you can see. There we go. So, interesting, right off the bat. So, a lot of stuff's not maxed out, so you might be newly Town Hall 9, I'm not sure about that. But the fact that you have 4 collectors in the center seems to indicate that you are not newly Town Hall 9, because you've gotten enough time to upgrade all of your collectors to nearly max. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with what I noticed right off the bat when I first connected to your base. So you have 4 elixir storages right in the center. What is good about this is that you put your golds on the outside when they're empty, so only 20,000 each. So you only have 80,000 gold total, so only a quarter of that can be stolen, only 20,000. So that's pretty much no risk to protecting your gold. But then you put your 4 elixir storages in the center, and wow, they are maxed out. You have 4 million elixir, which is why you'd be upgrading them right now. Interesting. So, something that struck me as very interesting was the fact that you put them all right in the center. Now, this is good because you're protecting them well. However, the one thing you're going to want to be aware of is this is going to be very vulnerable to lightning attacks. Now, it would be a lot worse if you had, like, a dark elixir storage straight in the center, so like this one right here. You don't have very much in there, so you don't have it in the center. By having a crossbow in the center, the crossbow would be the target of any lightnings, and the splash of the lightning spells would hit all of the elixir collectors. Probably not a huge deal in terms of elixir as much, and what you could do if you want to compensate that was consider moving like maybe 1 or 2 of them out farther, so perhaps like swap with a wizard or swap with a mortar. Only you'd have to do that only to a few of them, which would just spread them out more, so lightnings would not be as effective. Yeah, as such though, like I said, you definitely do not want to have 5 storages in the center with a plus, because that would be very vulnerable to lightnings. So just something to be aware of. Beyond that, let's talk about your overall defenses. So overall, you could have everything a lot higher. This base sort of looks like an early Town Hall 8 base. Town Hall 8's max out at Mortars level 6, Wizards level 6, and Air Defenses level 6 as well. So you clearly have not gotten those 3 types up. In terms of Archer Towers and Cannons, Town Hall 8 maxes out at 10 for both of those. So these level 7s are really not quite going to cut it. Those are sort of even lower than that. So you've clearly rushed through the Town Halls. I've said it before, but it's been a little while, so I guess I'll repeat it. And that is, if you guys are Town Hall 6, 7, 8, 9, I guess well 6, 7, 8. What you want to do is not rush through the Town Hall levels. Increasing your Town Hall level specifically means that your enemies can attack you and steal more loot. There's a less penalty if they are the same Town Hall level as you. At the same time, if you rush higher, you do get more defenses. However, the problem is your other defenses won't be as high of level, which means your base is going to be more vulnerable. Ideally, this means you're going to want to upgrade all of your defenses to maximum before upgrading your Town Hall level. You don't need to upgrade absolutely everything. So you don't need to do necessarily walls and all of your barracks and everything, but you want to get the majority of it there, like 98% maxed out before you increase your Town Hall level. The one exception to this is going to be mines and collectors. You do not need to max these guys out, and in fact I just recommend only upgrading these when you have free workers that you need to sort of keep the workers busy with. Other than that, I'd say you can pretty much neglect to upgrade them until you've got the free workers. Beyond that, I'll explain that, and that's because there's a lot more time efficient wise to just upgrade your mines and collectors, or to not upgrade them, and rather to spend your time raiding and getting resources that way, and then spending those resources on upgrading your defenses. That will allow you to progress a lot faster, and spending worker time doing mines and collectors will just slow them down and slow down your progression through the levels. So basically, yes, just put that off in my opinion. Alright, overall, I think that those are some big, very important tips right there, especially the defensive levels. I mean, your layout's fine, but just having lower level stuff is just going to be your biggest downfall, and it's going to allow a lot more players to be able to attack your base despite the fact that it's Town Hall 9. So I think that both you can take some tips from this, Byzantium, and as well as anyone else who is not yet Town Hall 9 can absolutely take some tips from this. If you are 6, 7, 8, do not upgrade until as late as possible. Yeah, I mean, it's relevant to be even below that as well, but especially 6, 7, and 8s. Alright, let's head on to the next base, guys. Alright, here we are, JMB, which I'm loading up right now. I can already tell this base is going to be a pretty high level. He's level 89, I think I saw right there in that clan screen, so this should be well upgraded. Oh man, yes it is. Awesome. I love seeing well upgraded bases because we can focus on the layouts rather than sort of the more boring stuff, which is the defenses. Oh, you just applied for review 20 minutes ago, but it looks like you got an attack during that time. So you are up at 1645 trophies, which isn't that high. And explains why your town hall is outside the walls. So that's good. I support that decision. In terms of this layout, let's check this out. Alright, so you've got your storages very centralized. At the same time, you've got them a bit more spread out than our last base with Byzantium, because, and that's a good idea because of the lightnings that I mentioned in there. You have 2 air defenses right here and a third one right here. That's interesting. I wonder if you have a fourth one around somewhere, because there recently was added a fourth. Oh, there it is, out here upgrading. Found it. Okay, I think that these 2 air defenses, that's good. You probably don't need them quite so centralized. Just the fact that you won't see very many dragon attacks at this trophy count. It's a possibility, though. You just might be able to sort of deprioritize them a little bit more. Perhaps have all 3 in this sort of ring right here. Up to you, though. It just sort of really depends if you have something better to put in the center. Definitely good job having your level 3 crossbows and having them in the center. Let's check them out. Oh, so nice. So when they're set to air, they only have 11 tile range. But I would definitely say setting to air is good. If you find that like literally 95% of your attacks are all ground attacks, you could consider changing them. But just looking at what their radius covers right now, it looks pretty good. They can cover like anything that's meleeing this side. They can't cover melee on this side, though. You do have Archer Queen and Barbarian King. They aren't super high levels, at least in comparison to your defenses. Level 3 Archer Queen and level 7 Barbarian King is respectable, but not like quite on the same level as all your level 11 cannons and archer towers and level 6 mortars and wizard towers. These wizard towers and mortars are really going to do lots of great damage against basically everything that groups up, and then everything else will do great damage against everything that's individuals. I would be curious how people do attack your base. I would say that perhaps your biggest weakness is going to be the fact you don't have very many compartments. And that means that you're trying to stuff a lot of different things inside your walls, and perhaps for a better wall breaker defense, it would be better to have more compartments. Perhaps you could check out my Town Hall 8 base that I recently did for Derp. The videos for that are just finishing up, I think, tomorrow and the next day. I think the 5th and final video will be out. But for now, perhaps check that out. Basically what I do is put all my buildings in 2 wide compartments, and even then some in single wide compartments. This basically means our wall breakers are going to be a lot less effective. Basically, this would involve kicking out a lot of your buildings from, especially the outer rings. So I would not protect your dark elixir drills, your gold mines, and elixir collectors especially. They're so leveled, they just really are not relevant to protect. And it would probably mean, what else would you probably kick out? I guess that's really the main things. You might, depending on how it works out, the Archer Queen and Barbarian King. It sort of depends on the exact number of walls and the exact size of the compartments. But check out what I'm building on my dirt base. You could very easily make a version of that for Town Hall 9, which, if your main issue is wall breakers, which would be getting into the center for the storages, that could potentially be something helpful. Now, for the next thing that I wanted to talk about is you definitely, I would say, want to consider upgrading the position of your clan castle. As well as the upgrade. I actually just noticed that it was level 3. This is, yeah, very noticeably low. You want to get this up to at least 4 and ideally 5 as soon as possible. Just having extra clan castle troops only helps out. Where would I recommend putting that? I'd recommend putting that right in the center. Clan castles are just so important. They're just unbelievably good. Especially, not even really the damage. Your defense will be doing more damage to attacking troops, but your clan castle will be distracting, and it will cause units to group up, to cause them to be distracted on defenses, or on your units rather than on your defenses, which allows your defense just to stay alive for longer and kill the units. So I would definitely recommend improving the position of this. Perhaps replacing one of these air defenses I sort of previously mentioned might be considered to move out. Just something, food for thought right there. I would consider putting your Barbarian King, your Clan Castle, and your Archer Queen away from your Town Hall. Because it looks like you want people to pick off your Town Hall because it's outside the walls, I would say make sure none of these guys are going to be activated when someone just comes to pick off your Town Hall. However, you want them to be activated if they decide to engage more heavily. Just some thought right there. You want them to give you a shield. Now, in terms of the Town Hall, the last thing I'm going to say is you should have this farther away from your defenses. This Archer Tower right here can very clearly protect the Town Hall from all threats. Archers that are placed out on the other side of the Town Hall, like right in here sort of, this Archer Tower will be able to shoot them down. Instead, you really want these people just to attack you and sort of take out stuff. Take out the Town Hall, and then you want them to surrender just after doing a 1-star. You want them to get their league bonus and quit. That gives you a shield, and doesn't lose you very many trophies. Instead, by putting your clan or your Archer Towers so they cover this Town Hall, you are discouraging people from attacking. So I would definitely move your Town Hall out a little bit farther. Last thing I'm going to mention is, as part of your kicking the gold mines and elixir collectors out, especially from the outside walls, I would consider centralizing your defenses a little bit more. So these two cannons, I would probably put like right here and here. This cannon, this Archer Tower, and this Archer Queen, I'd probably put in a row right here in the center. Just try to combine them towards the center as much as possible. Beyond that, like what you're doing. You've got some really nice upgraded stuff, and I certainly approve of that. I think your layout could benefit from a couple improvements, but it also depends on what sort of attacks you frequently see. Alright guys, that's going to be it with Jam's base. Thank you very much for submitting it, and nicely done. On to the next one, guys. Alright guys, so we've got Mike Roch here. I'm honestly not sure if he's trolling me, asking for a review. I'm going to assume he is, but I'm going to review this anyways, because this is sort of interesting. You know, actually I don't think he is. I'm legitimately trying to decide if he's trolling me here and asking for a review for this base. The thing that makes me think that he's not trolling is the fact that these walls layout over here looks very permanent. And, man. Wow, this is a hard decision. Like, I'm really split if he's trolling me or not. Okay, I'm going to assume that he's not trolling me. And just give it a legit review. Because it actually will give me an opportunity to talk about some like sort of core base build defenses stuff. So recently I've been doing my base build, so if you guys have not caught that, one of the benefits of my base build video is there's sort of an unusual type of video where I don't really talk about normal things. I talk about all the logic behind building a base. So first you're going to start with whatever your objective is, and this is critical to building a successful base. So in this case, Mike here has told me that he wants to focus on upgrading and getting to 2,000 trophies, because he says his clan is currently doing a trophy push. Alright? So this would mean that you probably are going to put your Town Hall very protected in the center of your base, and then perhaps have your other stuff spread out from there. Perhaps you're not going to focus on resources as much. It depends, though. If you're really focusing on upgrading, you're going to want to protect your resources as well. So let's say your priorities are 1, protect your Town Hall, and 2, protect resources. The order of that does matter, because it determines exactly how much you protect one versus the other. So you're going to start off by placing your Town Hall somewhere in the center. Alright, next, what you want to do is what is your next priority? So resources are your next priority, and then everyone's next priority should be defending their defenses. So your defenses that are going to matter most are going to be your mortars and your wizard towers. So you actually got really nice upgraded ones. Mortars are maxed. Wizard Tower 1 is maxed. These other 2 are not. And you've got another one coming up. That's the new one that was recently given to Town Hall 9 players in the last update. So you're going to want to put those all centralized. And because you've just determined that you want to also protect storages, you're going to want to put those in as well. Now, I'm currently a fan of sort of doing as many small compartments as possible. This sort of is an interesting shape right here. I guess I can talk about that because what else am I going to talk about? This is a really terrible layout because basically archers can attack all these defenses, as well as any other units that are placed down can immediately break in through these walls and attack the defenses straight away. You want to use your less critical buildings, so this is going to be your mines, and even your cannons and archer towers, which are less important than your mortars, crossbows, and wizards. You're going to want to put those surrounding all these defenses. And yeah, you basically are going to let enemies attack those first and slow down the enemies, and that entire time while they're being attacked, there's other defenses and less important buildings. These mortars, crossbows, and wizards are going to be attacking. I guess I didn't mention before, but crossbows are also very critical. Just their massive range and good damage per second is important to keeping them centralized, so they're along with wizards and mortars in the center. Now, beyond that, you basically want to just position everything else around that as close as possible to the walls to slow down defenses, or slow down units that are attacking, and to protect your defenses. Beyond that, I would say this base, you're really just going to want to sort of completely redo it from building from the center out. I recommend just spreading everything out of the center like I do in my base builds, so you're just starting from a clean slate and not influenced by sort of any past decisions or past buildings. That's sort of an overview of what I would recommend doing. I mean, you're definitely sort of like in a partial build state here. It's hard to tell as much, though. Just doing like shapes like this, I don't really recommend doing, just because you're going to want to focus on whatever's the most important, not like on interesting wall patterns like this. Alright. I think I'm going to get some interesting comments on the comment section of this video for this base, because I think you're definitely going to take the most unusually submitted base award ever for all 16 or previous 15 base reviews I've ever done. So I guess congratulations to you for that one, Mike Roch. Anyways, guys, on to the next and final Town Hall 9 base. Alright, here we are with Silent Knight. He's also got a destroyed Town Hall out here on the right side, Town Hall 9. Defenses are similar to our first base that we saw, where they're not maxed out, but they're not far off either. You do better from that base. So you can sort of get a summary of this by looking at people's levels. So you can look up here on the top left. Silent Knight is a level 78. So that means that if you're not sort of familiar how the levels work, it's just based on the experience for completing buildings. So 78 means that well, let's see, by comparison, my pretty much maxed out Town Hall 8 is like a 75 or 6 or something like that currently. So 78 is going to be that plus a little bit. So that's true. You've got pretty much maxed out Town Hall 8 defenses, and then you add some things like crossbows and extra buildings that I don't have access to, such as 4 wizard towers and I see 3 air defenses. I wonder if there's a 4th one right here. Oh, there's the last one. So yeah, things like that. Those are extra buildings I don't have access to. Now, I like the layout. The small compartments is good. Something you definitely want to be aware of, though, is the fact that wall breakers might be particularly effective against certain aspects of this base. So, if I look in here, imagine someone comes in with wall breakers. They place 100 wall breakers right here. Well, again, not 100. They place 20 wall breakers right here. This is going to be targeted right here, so they're going to blow open this compartment, and that's going to open up both of these compartments. Next, they're going to target right here, so that's going to open up both of these compartments if this one was not already opened. Next, it's sort of debate if they go for this compartment or these ones in here. It doesn't really matter, though. Eventually, some of these 20 wall breakers are going to target this central. So what happens if they target the single wall that I've selected right here? This wall is rather important, because if they destroy this wall, not only will they open up this compartment, but they'll also open up this compartment. This is because this single wall is a critical junction between these 4 compartments. Ideally, you would not have this be the case. What would be better for this? So, you see right here, you see how this is only compartment between 3? That's better. You see this right here? This is only compartment between 3 too. This one right here could be a little bit better, but is closer to the ideal. This is a compartment, a wall shared between 3 compartments, and so is this one. However, wall breaker splash damage might mean that if a wall breaker is like standing right here and attacking this wall, they might also hit this wall. So it's sort of concern. Ideally, you're going to have these walls overlap a lot more, I guess, is the way you sort of need to think about it. So this segment of 3 walls, if it connected to this wall right here, was right here, and a wall breaker attacked this wall, it would never attack this wall at the same time. Now, I emphasize this a lot also in my current base build series that I'm doing, so go check out part 2 is when I really start talking about it, if you want like a full explanation. But basically, this is really critical against wall breakers if you're concerned about them breaking in towards the center. And I think it's a really valid strategy that you're slightly off from. You just need to adjust how your buildings are laid out. It ends up being a ton of work to adjust it from your current state, but it can really pay off. Now, let's talk about some other things. So we haven't talked much about wall upgrading strategy. You have some pretty good walls here, and I approve of the fact that you've got everything to level 6 first. That's really good. Now, beyond that, getting stuff to level 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 is all pretty equal in terms of the number of wall breakers it takes. So instead, I would focus on just getting everything to level 6 like you have done, so that's good. And after that, I would say I would focus on getting your critical ones to level 7 before you really worry about too many to 8. So, critical ones, what does this mean? I wouldn't worry about stuff on the outside like this. It's just not going to get attacked enough by infantry to really matter, and wall breakers are just going to target down the corners rather than the general sides. In fact, in my current base, I'm doing some really weird stuff by putting really low-level walls in the center, just because I know they're not going to be attacked frequently. And so far, this turned out to be true. I haven't shown any actually attacks in my base yet, just given the fact that I'm still releasing the base build videos, but I haven't had any serious attacks, so I just know that outside walls are going to be better to upgrade first, and you can put low-level walls in non-critical positions. Alright, in terms of answering the question, so actually I haven't mentioned what you had said, but when you submitted your base, I always leave the option for people to ask a question or comment on your base and what I should focus on, and your question is, what should I upgrade next? Now, this is a really common question I get, so generally, this is how my upgrade strategy goes. For most players, it would be upgrade mortars first, wizards second, archers or cannons, they're sort of tied as third, and then Teslas and other sort of things like that afterwards. That's sort of my gold priority upgrading strategy. So Teslas and air defenses, that's it. That's the last one. Now for Town Hall 9s is a bit different because you do get access to the crossbow, which no one else obviously has access to. So I would probably tie the crossbow in to equal with wizards and mortars. When you first get to Town Hall 9, you're going to want to get your crossbows up as soon as possible. And this is because having a level 1 crossbow does 50 damage right here. By comparison, if we pull up one of these mortars, does 9 damage. So if you max this out, I believe it does 12 damage. So if you imagine that that's an extra 3 damage per second, which turns out to be 3 times 5, or 15 extra damage per shot. So imagine, would you rather do 1 extra mortar level and get extra 15 damage per second, or do a brand new crossbow and get 50 damage per second? Yeah, you're going to want to upgrade the new building first and get it up and operational. Just getting something operational is much more important than upgrading. But even when it comes to upgrading, you can see here, I'm not actually sure exactly what this will upgrade to, but I think it's like 50, high 50s and then 60s. So you definitely want to upgrade these as well once as a more important than your cannons and archer towers especially. But at the same time, you don't want to have too many of them inactive. So I would get both of your crossbows up as fast as possible, and then I'd upgrade 1 crossbow at a time, 1 wizard at a time, and 1 mortar at a time, if you can afford to do so. So that, in terms of your base specifically, that's absolutely possible. I would just do 1 to 2 wizards at a time. The fact that you have 4 wizards now, I would say you can probably get away with doing 2. Mortars with only 3, I would only do 1 at a time. And crossbows, I don't actually see your other crossbow, so maybe it's under construction somewhere around here. But yeah, so yes, get your second crossbow up as number 1 priority, and then upgrade 1 crossbow and alternate them, getting them up. Get 1 to 2, then get the other to 2, get 1 to 3, get the other to 3. That's going to take a while. They're all slow upgrades, they're all expensive upgrades, but that's how my upgrade recommendations. Lastly, I will say, I mentioned this before, get your town hall or get your clan castle up. Having 25 troops is just oh so helpful. Yes, and then even you can get it up to the next level town halls or level 5 from that, which will give you an extra more than that. Both of those are really important, as well as, just like I mentioned, you're probably going to want to centralize this in your defenses. It's pretty important. Lastly, you do have some good amount of Dark Elixir here with 23,000. I would definitely either try to spend this on your Archer Queen, which you don't have. So I would immediately get up to the amount needed. I think it's 25,000. So immediately get up to that amount as soon as possible and get that Archer Queen going. But then as soon as you have the Archer Queen, I would just probably alternate doing Archer King, Barbarian King, and Archer Queen. I was actually going to not talk about this, but I guess this is actually something pretty important. So I sort of touched on it with defenses, but I said that upgrading your stuff is not as important as building it fresh. And I sort of used the example of the crossbow versus the mortar for that. Now this is exactly true for other things as well. So is it more important to upgrade a Barbarian King to level 2 or do an Archer Queen to level 1, so just initially building it? And this is the exact same way you need to look at it. Would I rather have one extra defense, which I don't know what stats, but imagine if you're building imagine you could build 2 Barbarian Kings. So would you rather build a second Barbarian King, which has all these equal stats, or upgrade this Barbarian King to be slightly better for pretty much the same cost, which is actually slightly more? You actually are going to want to build another level 1 first. In this case, because the number of defenses is maxed out and capped, it becomes down to just getting them up first and then upgrading them as much as possible. So when you've unlocked it and have the resources, you definitely want to get your Archer Queen to level 1 first, rather than your Barbarian King to level 2. And I'm not criticizing you on this. I can actually tell exactly what you're doing, because 23,000 is a ton of Dark Elixir. That's absolutely a ton. You can upgrade your Barbarian King when you have 12,500 Dark Elixir. So I know that you clearly are intentionally not doing this. So this is just to everyone who's listening, rather than you specifically, Silent Knight. Follow Silent Knight's idea here. If you are a Town Hall 9 and are debating whether you should upgrade your Barbarian King to 1 more level or unlock the Archer Queen for the first time, definitely go with the Archer Queen. It does a ton more damage when the Barbarian King upgrade was only going to do maybe a few extra % damage, maybe like 1 to 2 extra %. Doing an Archer Queen would be like 100% increase to the amount of damage hero-wise. Alright guys, so that's going to wrap up this subscriber base review. So this has been subscriber base review number 16. So that means I have 15 other subscriber base reviews. So if you would like some other advice, perhaps specifically oriented at your Town Hall level, you can go check out some of my other subscriber base review videos that I've done in the past. There should be a playlist in the description, so you can go find all of them in one place right there. Now beyond that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you would like to be in a future subscriber base review, this is how I pick bases. So I have a Facebook page and a Twitter page. You should go follow and like me on both of those. Follow on Twitter, like on Facebook. This means that you will get notifications when I put out, well, new videos, as well as when I'm doing subscriber base reviews. So I announced on both Facebook and Twitter when I was going to be doing one of these. So you should follow that, and then you'll know when I'm doing them. So what I'll do is I'll put up a post on Facebook and announce it on both of those sources and say, comment on this post with the following information, and have a little form. Just copy paste the form in the comment section and fill it out. So it's like your name, your clan, what rank you are in the clan, and some other stuff so I can help find you, as well as like any comments. Basically fill that stuff out, and you can find links to both Facebook and Twitter in the description of this video as well. Beyond that, guys, I highly encourage you to ask your clanmates for help, as well as just look for other sources for help as well. I can't review everyone. There is now 34,000 plus of you, and only one of me. So unfortunately, I cannot answer all your subscriber base review requests. I really wish I could, but I would literally spend every minute of every day doing it. So sorry about that, guys, but I'm doing the best I can. I hope you enjoyed these tips, and I think that they're relevant to not only the players that I was able to select, but everyone beyond that. I try to get a selection of bases which are a wide range of levels, as well as upgraded strategies, as well as goals. So people who are going for trophies, people who are going for resources, everything in between. As well as you saw in this video, even a base which has no idea what it's doing at the moment. And even I can't determine it. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching once again. Please do consider subscribing. This is a subscriber-based review video after all. So you probably should be a subscriber if you are requesting a review. So just hit the subscribe button. I really do appreciate it. Putting out Clash of Clans videos every single day that I can. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.